Today we're going to talk about how DOGE really, really worked and how it's affecting everybody in the country, probably in the world. See, when Trump was talking about DOGE, how he was going DOGE, he was talking about getting rid of fraud, waste, and abuse. See, that enticed everybody because, see, everybody thought that under the previous administration, and they not mentioning Bush, both of the Bushes, they mentioning the Democratic presidents, that DOGE was about cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. See, that's why some of y'all should have went to school. Y'all should have had their lunch and went to school. See, fraud, waste, and abuse it's not common, but it is common in government, because you have people that come in like Trump did, and he glittered up the White House. Now that would be considered fraud, waste, of abuse, because he went above him. The president, when they're doing decorations, this is what my uncle told me a long time ago when he worked in Washington, that the president and the vice president and all the elected officials up there, they have a budget on what they have to spend money on. They can't go past the budget. Well, if you look at the White House now, Trump went over their budget. Like, they can get a new desk, a new chair, little things like that, but they can't go over a certain amount of the budget. But it's clear that Trump went over the budget. See, we gonna talk, family, because see, some of y'all that come and make comments on my post, it's clear that you went to school, but you stayed in the lunch area. Okay, now, with that being said, he cutting out fraud, waste, and abuse. But see, you were thinking, I'm going to tell you what you MAGAs were thinking. See, you MAGAs was thinking that he was going to go in and cut the woman down the street that off of welfare and Section 8. Even though some of y'all were getting it, now you were more worried about the girl next door and she getting it. But you was justifying yours and said, well, I got a medical condition. But you wasn't thinking about her. You just saw her coming in and out and stuff. But instead of you reporting her to the state, you relied once again on Trump to save the day. Not you rather for the federal government to fix it than the state. See, because if you had reported her to the state would have took care of it. But now Trump made you that lie like he can fix everything. 6-count bankruptcy person can fix everything. You'd have thought with the first or second bankruptcy he would have learned, but nah, he didn't. So anyway, back to DOGE. He went in, and see, DOGE was a cover-up. It was a cover-up, because they had to look like they was fixing the country by cutting all these jobs. But then they hit certain areas of the government that was even less, that was restricted to more people that the average person, even some politicians, couldn't get hold of. And then they went into the IRS records. Yeah. You don't know. See, I think they went into some backgrounds and found some things out that we don't know about. And then, they held them. Because if you notice, in 2016, when before Trump was getting ready to leave, he appointed Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett. They was like, okay, you appointed me, but you don't own me, type stuff. Now they going along with the program. They not combative anymore, because if he ain't got nothing on the Supreme Court, he got to, because how can you go against the Constitution when if somebody ain't got nothing on you? See, they scared somebody gonna put something out on them. See, that's what these politicians, that's the reason why they going along with the big, beautiful bill and all of that. That's why he can call them and threaten them and stuff. He ain't threatening them with words and stuff. He threatening them with stuff that he know that he can do to them. Yeah, you ain't got to believe that, but it's true. It's true. That's why they passing. That's why some of them are not going in. The ones that are not being elected now, they talking up because they saying, you know what, he can't do no more harm to me than what he already have. So he got the politicians. He got the Senate, the House. Then he got that Supreme Court. He's a slick one now. He's a slick one. That's what that DOGE was cut out for. That DOGE wasn't cut out to save you no money. But you know, when you still got some black folks, you still got some brown folks that sitting here believing that he making things right when he been in office 9 months, and it's just like sending me to the White House and giving me the country and telling me, Samantha, I need you to work on the Pentagon. And I'm like, well, no, I don't know the Pentagon. I don't know nobody that knows the Pentagon, but I'm going to call my friend Jackie up, because Jackie, you know what, she got some accounting things. She served in the National Guard. That type of stuff. You know, every day that little old hot yellow woman look good every day, don't she? You know she do. But they'll never admit it, see. Because, see, white folks don't want to admit that they did wrong. They rather go down like the Titanic than admit that they did wrong, that they did. Now, some of them are. Some of them are saying, you know what, I voted for him. I voted for him for the economy. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. See, that's what baffling everybody. He messed up the term the first time, and then he came back and won again. Yeah, he could have rigged it, but he could have rigged the election, but not to this degree where it was not obvious at first. See, because folks was worried about the groceries, and he promised them it's like, you know what? This reminds me of when I used to tell somebody, I said, you know what? The devil don't come to you in the ugly form, the hideous form and all of that. He don't come to you like that, because if he come to you like that and told you what he was going to do, you would be scared. You would be frightened. You wouldn't want to see that face. So the devil comes as one of us. Nice. You know, he's not charismatic. Trump is not charismatic. He just told them what they wanted to hear. He showed the hatred of America, not just with white folks, but he showed it with the race within. Black folks hate black folks. Puerto Ricans hate Puerto Ricans. Everybody thought they were better than somebody else. You know, the post office right now, they hoping and praying that, you know, I spoke to one of the post office today, and he's sitting up there worried that, you know what they getting ready to do. He hope he get in 4 years, he will be able to retire with his pension. He told the military, wait a minute, we're not obligated to take care of you the rest of your life. You know, some things have a limit. He cutting out everybody Medicaid, but he having galas at the White House on that cement thing that he did. See, he ain't planning on leaving, see. He ain't got cushion. He said, just like he said, I just need your vote one more time. People were so happy to hear that they were going after somebody else, that's all they wanted to hear. Now the Supreme Court has said that immigrants can be pulled over. We can be pulled over and questioned, which is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Because, in another case, It says that the United States Supreme Court that says anybody that's on American soil is protected of due process. But now, no, they knocked that down. They chipped that away. Now, white folks are happy about it. And then you got some black folks that's saying that the immigrants need to come here and they need to leave and stuff. I noticed something. We were getting our black asses beat up, murdered, and all this other stuff. And we was asking for our civil rights. But now that they picking on a new set of brown folks, you got some of these brown folks that's sitting up here saying, oh, yeah, they need to go back. Well, when they finish picking with them, who you think they gonna come back to? Why you think they going after these majority black mayors and stuff like that? What? The Hispanics are the prototype. It's too many of us. And they know they gonna have a fight when it comes down to they coming to get you and putting you in the field. They know this. They know it. So they gotta experiment with a certain type of brown folks before they get to this brown folks. You know what I mean? So you say, well, that's the prototype. Because he gonna start signing executive orders that says that, because he already can take away your citizenship. Birthright citizenships all of it has a guard. It's like at a limit. It's given a limit. But it's to the Hispanics, the undocumented. Then you got Marsha Blackburn. Ain't that something? You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna let her have her heyday, because when stuff start going down the field, see, that's what she trying to do. She keep talking about immigration to get you off the fact that when that bill start coming down and you can't eat and you can't go to work, you ain't got no job, because see, it's one job for every 9 person now. So when you can't find a job, as you losing stuff, they know you can't blame Biden no more. So they gotta figure that they gotta cushion you, because they think America is dumb. Well, some of us are, but they think the whole United States is dumb. So DOGE was the prodigy of finding out things on people that they can use against them. They ain't got enough on everybody. They got fear on a lot of people, but they ain't got enough on everybody to wean that off. So the ones that they got some on, they ain't even touching that thing of the Jeffrey Epstein thing. But the ones that they got some on, you ain't got to worry about them. Now he got to put fear. He got to use that fear tactic to keep things going, to prevent it. That's what he doing. So right now, we are under a dictatorship. Right now, we are under authoritarian. Right now, we are in civil war. Because right now, even though it hasn't gotten physical, it is more of a threat than it is physical. But if people don't vote, and I don't care if they say they're using tactics saying that it's rigged, that see you trying to lie. He says popularity is growing. But you see the protests is all out in different states and stuff. But see, there's 2 types of black folks. You got ones that fight, that stand up. They're not going to go down without a battle. They gonna fight their way through. And then you got that one that says, I just want to lay down and let him. If I lay down, he ain't gonna bother me. If I don't bother him, he ain't gonna bother me. If I just go over here to the left, he ain't gonna do nothing to me. If I just be a good little black person and just go to work and do my job and don't say nothing, and he's still the president. He gonna do good by us. He gonna do good. That's what we are coming to. And we seem more now. It seems like we got more of those, the second type of black people, than we do the first. Like I said, and you wonder why we are at the lowest bottom of things going on in our community and everything, because we are that second person. We don't want to fight. We don't want to disrupt what we got. Even though we see the writing on the wall, we don't want to get rid of that. We want to sit here and make excuses why we shouldn't stand up, why we shouldn't vote, why we shouldn't take back our communities. But then you got to look at it. Like I said in Memphis, how do you think that's gonna work out when, he takes over the police department with not just the police department, but he taking over with folks who are weekend soldiers, and they plumbers and probably, everybody ain't been in the military that's at the National Guard. And when the National Guard start acting like police officers and start doing things that would cause an effect, you can't, and they taking away your civil rights, where you gonna go? What you gonna do? How you gonna sue somebody for a wrongful death if the president has appointed the National Guard? You wanted that National Guard to get there. The National Guard sit here and shoot somebody and with and no training, and because they made them mad, or they in the way, or they fear whatever reason, and then you want justice for your son, but you beg for the National Guard to come there. Or better yet, let's go for, you sat there and waited for them DOGE checks. He said he was going to make you richer than you ever were. You going to say, stop, President, stop. But where are you at? My suggestion is that, you know what? I'm collecting cans, aluminum cans again. I sure am. Got almost a whole bag full. Because what's getting ready to happen is that we're cutting off, it's going to be a shortage in America of aluminum, steel, all of that. That's going to go, it's going to go, because it's a high demand, it's going to go up. It's going to go up. Plastic, all that stuff that we took advantage for, it's finna go up. Don't think because you're paying for the product inside that you're not going to pay for the container that it comes in. It's going to go up. Housing market going to crash. The dollar going to crash. We ain't finna go in a recession. We finna go in a deep depression. Yeah, we are. We going to go in a deep depression. Right about now, somebody probably 5 or 6 could be going on a year. Car note next year, this time next year. Folk gonna be driving around with no insurance. People gonna be driving around with car notes that's been due a year. Because why? You're gonna see finance companies going out of business. You're seeing bankruptcies. Bankruptcies have increased by 30%. This is just 9 months. 9 months. You finna see homeless at a high time rate. That brown woman look kind of good. That high yellow woman, she looks so good. But you know what? People hate to admit when they did wrong here. See, people hate to admit. Let's go back. Because she said he had a vengeance list. He was going to take it out on everybody. And he put aside everything that the economy does, along with he got stuff on judges, federal judges, Supreme Court judges. So far, the only people he really ain't affected, that ain't affected by, is the appellate courts. He got the Supreme Court arguing with the lower federal judges, because they're trying to uphold the Constitution, and the Supreme Court is trying to change it without Congress. Yep. Even though some idiots voted for him, we all gonna pay. We all gonna pay. And this is not about being fair. This is not about your eggs, your bacon. This is not about your house, your 401k. This is not about your Medicaid. This is not about nothing else. This is a bunch of grifters and a petty ass president. It's just that simple. He using your tax dollars to go after the ones that did him wrong for a while. And don't say, well, now Samantha, he not doing that. He just being the president. Well, if he was being the president, this is a slap in the face right here. January 6ers, the J6ers, should be a good enough example for you. Them police went in there when he told them folks to go over there and do all that stuff. Many of them got hurt and some lost their lives. But it was one of the J6ers that went and tried to get inside with a Congress. Y'all forgot that they were getting ready to, put a noose around Mike Pence's neck in the square. Ooh, wait. Shameful day. That was one of many shameful days in America. Then, wait a minute now. He pardoned all of them when he got back in the second time. Many of them work in ICE. Many of them that should have stayed in jail, got out and did more crimes and went back to jail. But it's this lady named Bobbitt sued for $5 million. That case should have been thrown out. But not only wait a minute, he's cutting your mama and daddy and your Medicaid, and you got all these folks talk about, well, my son has autism, and you talk about the farmers and how they turning to God. See, they did wrong, and they going to God and asking God for help. Ain't that something? That's what some of y'all Christians believe, that you can do wrong and then go to God for help. And he's supposed to help you despite what you do. You won't learn nothing. You ain't learning nothing if you did all that. But anyway, then he gave her the $5 million. That's what she was suing for. He didn't even negotiate. He gave her the $5 million. And now to continue to slap the law enforcement in the face is to sit here and say, you know what, we're going to give her an honorary funeral. On a patriotic funeral. Some of y'all sons in there for less than what that gal did, and y'all ain't seeing the light of day. Some of y'all can't. Some folks are in the jails that didn't even do anything. It took 20, 30 years to get out, and he made it so he got to. He ain't messed up with everybody else, but he got to get you good niggers in line. So he got this old uneducated black parole czar. But they ain't directors no more. They czars. Czars are like a empire type thing position. Yeah. So you know what? Like I said. Y'all, for those of y'all who still trying to explain what DOGE is, DOGE was just a cover-up to get all the information on what he needed to do so that he could do it with fear and threat. That's what DOGE is about. So don't stop going to the mailbox looking for a check, or stop reading when a check gonna come. There is no check. There is no help. He's gonna try to go after his people, the ones that hurt his feelings, and he gonna use your tax dollars to do it. So if you want to know where your money is going, go, why your mama can't get her benefits, and why your son is not getting all of this stuff. You go look at that marble piece of mess that whatever it is, or better yet, that he got a Trump store in the White House. You go look at that. You look at every time he get on that plane and go golfing. You look at all of that. That's where your tax dollars. The funny part about it was that the same thing you was trying to prevent, it happened anyway. Go have some days off in here.